Well, hi everybody. My name is Patty Burgin. I am the head coach here at Seattle Coach, and had a couple more thoughts on grace, particularly as it appears in my work, in my life, and maybe especially during the time of the pandemic. I spent the first part of my career as a campus minister. Moved on from there to become a marriage and family therapist, and noticed through those thousands and thousands of hours of listening to people and asking them questions that the people I most looked forward to seeing were the ones who would say things to me like, you know, Patty, I don't have a diagnosis. I don't want to bill insurance. My relationship is fine, and I don't want to stop coming here. And so I look at them a little like a Cocker Spaniel, and I'd say, well, what would we talk about? And they would say to me, we would talk about my satisfaction, my contribution. We would talk about the fact that I am halfway through and that life is big and life is short, and I want to make sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing in my brief time on the planet. And whether or not these people were believers, many of them were not, I saw eternity in their hearts. I saw grace, not only in their sense of longing for a purpose, but in their awareness of their brokenness and in their openness to the idea that a loving God might be in their corner. I was with a bunch of executives from one of the big Seattle tech firms not long ago, 50 of them, and we'd been talking about leadership and how to lead in a way where you're not asking for compliance or telling or fixing or nagging, but leading in a way where you're connecting with the people that you work with and helping them to be their best selves. And I said to this group, there are about 50 people there, I said, how many of you would love to have a sense of calling to what you do? And very quickly, 50 hands went up. I would love to have a sense of calling to what I do. Now, I'm not an evangelist, but when God's grace is apparent in the way human beings are wired, God becomes very apparent. And I'm not shy about my own faith in talking to these guys about my own sense of calling. And I've broken it down this way, that grace appears with that sense of longing to make sure that your contribution and your satisfaction are in place, that you have a calling, that you are open to the idea that there's a loving God in your corner, and that you're also aware of the fact that you're broken, or bent, as C.S. Lewis used to say. That you have some self-awareness. You know what makes you a blessing. You know what your gifts and strengths are. You also know what makes you annoying. So those are the three things that I'm aware of in my own life and as I talk with people in secular settings, because I think God has first put those things in their hearts, and I just connect with it. So again, it's their longing for a sense of purpose, a calling, their sense of a loving God in their corner, and their sense of their own brokenness and need to connect and continue to grow. So those are some of my thoughts on grace. I'd love to hear some of yours. Thanks for listening. And thanks for-
Your love is so amazing. Amazing.